Well, I'm really interested in finding out a little bit more about Ed Miliband. I'm not really sure what it holds for us all, but that's why I'm here.
I think he's probably okay, but I don't know. I don't know enough to be able to say what I think about him.
I'm not entirely sure really what to expect. Hear what the people from Brighton and Hove have got to say.
My big message is politicians need to get out more.
Education is my specific area. I'm a supply teacher.
I'm concerned about how the public sector is being treated.
I think we've got people of all political persuasions and none here today. It's not just Labour Party supporters. I think the reputation of politics is at an all-time low. And no political party can absolve itself of responsibility for that. I want to say that right away. We've got to listen to people who didn't vote for us at the last election, as well as people who did. So I'm really looking forward to our discussion this morning.
With the cuts in further education, what are your plans with regards to ensuring that students, no matter what their background, can go to further and higher education?
I think that the combination of the end of aim higher, the end of EMAs, educational maintenance allowances, and the trebling of tuition fees, I really fear is going to set back social mobility. I would prefer a fairer system of repayment, so a graduate tax, because I actually think that can avoid the sense of people having debt, which they worry about, and also can avoid something else which worries me, which is the market in higher education.
We all agree that in order to get this recovery strong, spending power has got to be put into the hands of the poor, people who will actually spend the money. So this seems to people like me an ideal time to make the case for doing something about massive tax avoidance by the top 1% of the population.
I couldn't agree more with what you said. We've got to be speaking up on this issue of tax avoidance and corporate tax avoidance, and we will be, because I think it is a very big issue, and also it sticks in people's throat at a time when they're being made to pay the price. Other people are not paying their fair share of tax.
What do you propose to do to put pressure on these other countries to toe the line with regard to greenhouse emissions?
If you put together collectively what countries are doing, it's not enough, frankly. We've got to make a better link, all of us who care about climate change, between climate change and the economy. Because the problem is that these two issues are sometimes seen as separate. The danger we have actually in our society is a sense that people think, look, politics just can't change anything. The thing that most depresses me most, believe it or not, when I knock on doors, is not when people say I'm voting for somebody else, when people say, look, you're all the same, and voting for any of you doesn't make a difference. And I think that way, you know, is actually bad for all of us in our society. So thank you very much for coming today. As I say, sorry I didn't get to all your questions, but your comments will be heard and understood, and safe journey home. Thank you.
He seemed sincere, he seemed fluent, he was on top of the case. He said several times, we're here to listen, which I think is super, and we're here to restore faith in politics. I think that's important.
He's come across as a really nice guy. I got to talk to him and leave him some information about something that was very passionate to me. Looking towards the future, I can get more involved in the local politics as a result of today.
Some interesting questions, covered a wide range. He seemed to actually know a lot about what was being said, kind of lists and aim higher. He seemed to know what those organisations were about.
I was very impressed with Ed Miliband. I thought he directly related to all the issues that were put to him.
I thought it was better than I was expecting. I didn't get the sort of political spiel I was expecting.
Very pleased with Ed's visit. I think it was fantastic. Great opportunity to meet him and understand a little bit more about what he's about.